To read someone's mind, just ask them 3 questions. Nikola Tesla quotes and life lessons in English. Welcome, dear friend. Before we begin today's journey, I want to ask you something important. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and wondered, what are they really thinking? Have you ever wished you could see past the words people say, and understand the truth hidden deep inside them? If you have, then you are in exactly the right place today. Nikola Tesla, the man who lit up the world, the genius who dreamed in electricity and thunder, was not just a scientist. He was a reader of human nature. He understood people the way he understood the forces of nature, deeply, carefully, and with tremendous patience. Tesla believed that the human mind was the most powerful machine ever created. And he believed that if you knew the right questions to ask, you could understand any person completely. Today, we are going to explore that wisdom together. We will walk through Tesla's greatest quotes and life lessons. We will discover what he taught us about people, about silence, about patience, and about the 3 powerful questions that can help you read anyone's mind. This is not magic. This is not manipulation. This is the art of deep human understanding, something Tesla practiced every single day of his brilliant life. Stay with me until the very end. Something here will change the way you see the world. The man behind the genius. Most people know Nikola Tesla as the inventor of alternating current, the man who battled Thomas Edison, the dreamer who imagined wireless electricity long before the modern world was ready for it. But very few people know the real Tesla, the quiet, deeply observant man who spent as much time studying human behavior as he did studying the laws of physics. Tesla was born in 1856 in a small Serbian village. From his earliest days, he showed an extraordinary ability to notice things that others missed. He could walk into a room and immediately sense the mood, the tension, the unspoken emotion hanging in the air. He did not learn this from a book. He learned it from years of watching, listening, and asking the right questions. Tesla once said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Most people apply this to science. But Tesla was also talking about people. Every human being carries their own energy. Every person speaks in a certain frequency. And if you learn to tune yourself to that frequency, you will understand them completely. This is the foundation of everything we will explore today. Tesla's life teaches us that wisdom begins not with speaking, but with listening. Not with answering, but with asking. And not with rushing, but with the deep, patient silence of a truly great mind. Subscribe to this channel right now, because every video we create here is designed to feed your mind, lift your spirit, and help you walk through this world with more wisdom and clarity. The first question: what does this person fear? Tesla understood fear better than almost anyone. He had his own fears. He feared failure, he feared being misunderstood, and he feared that his greatest work would never be appreciated in his lifetime. He was right about that last one. Much of his genius was only recognized long after his death. But because Tesla understood his own fear so deeply, he also understood the fear of others. And he knew one powerful truth. Every human being is driven, in some way, by what they fear most. When you want to understand someone's mind, the first great question you must ask, not out loud, but inside yourself, is this: what does this person fear? What are they trying to protect? What outcome are they desperate to avoid? Tesla said, "I don't care that they stole my idea, I care that they don't have any of their own." This was not bitterness. This was Tesla identifying the fear behind the action. People who steal ideas fear that their own minds are not enough. People who criticize others without reason fear being seen as less than. People who talk constantly fear silence, because silence forces them to face themselves. When someone is angry with you, ask yourself, what are they afraid of? When someone dismisses your dreams, ask, what fear lives inside them? When someone tries to control others, look deeper, what are they terrified of losing? Fear is the hidden engine behind almost every human behavior. Learn to see it, and you will never misread a person again. Tesla's lesson on silence. One of the most powerful things Nikola Tesla ever taught the world was not written in any scientific paper. It was taught through the way he lived. Tesla was a man of enormous silence. He often said that his best ideas came not when he was speaking, but when he was completely still and quiet. In a world that rewards noise, the loudest voice, the boldest claim, the most confident personality, Tesla was a radical. He believed that the person who speaks the least often understands the most. He believed that silence was not emptiness. Silence was a space where truth could breathe. Tesla once said, "The present is theirs, the future, for which I really worked, is mine." Think about the depth of that statement. Tesla was not trying to win every argument. He was not trying to impress the people around him. He was playing a long, patient game, the game of truth. And truth, Tesla knew, always wins in the end. When you practice silence, when you stop talking long enough to truly listen, something remarkable happens. People begin to reveal themselves to you. They fill the silence with their real thoughts, their real feelings, their real fears and desires. You do not have to force anything. You simply have to be still. This is a lesson that most people in the modern world have completely forgotten. We are so busy posting, commenting, arguing, and performing that we have lost the ancient art of simply being present and listening. Tesla's life reminds us, the quietest person in the room often understands everything that the loudest person is trying to hide. The second question, what does this person want most? After you understand a person's fear, the next great question Tesla's wisdom points us toward is this: what does this person want most deeply? Not what they say they want. Not the surface level answer, but the real, burning desire that gets them out of bed every morning and keeps them awake at night. Tesla's own deepest desire was breathtakingly simple. He did not want money. He did not want fame. He did not want to defeat his rivals. What Tesla wanted most was to give the world free, unlimited energy. He wanted to light up the planet for every human being, rich or poor, powerful or forgotten. That desire shaped every decision he made, every sacrifice he accepted, and every battle he fought. When you know what someone truly wants, you understand their entire story. The ambitious colleague who works late every night, do they want money, or do they want to be seen and respected? The friend who is always helping others, do they want to be needed, or do they genuinely love giving? The parent who pushes their child relentlessly, do they want success for the child, or are they chasing a dream they never achieved for themselves? Tesla teaches us, look past the action to the desire beneath it. Look past the desire to the deeper need beneath that. Most people do not even fully understand their own deepest wants. But if you develop the patience and the perception to see it clearly, you will understand them better than they understand themselves. That is real wisdom. That is the gift Tesla lived by. Why Tesla never stopped believing. There were moments in Nikola Tesla's life that would have broken most people permanently. He was betrayed by business partners. He was robbed of credit for his greatest inventions. He lost his laboratory to fire, and with it, years of irreplaceable work. He died alone, in a small hotel room in New York, with very little money and almost no recognition from the world he had so profoundly changed. And yet, Tesla never stopped believing. He never stopped working. He never allowed the cruelty of his circumstances to extinguish the fire of his purpose. How did he do it? Tesla explained it himself. My brain is only a receiver. In the universe there is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. Tesla believed that his genius was not his alone. He believed he was connected to something larger than himself, a cosmic intelligence that flowed through him whenever he was aligned with his deepest purpose. This is one of the most important life lessons we can take from Tesla. When you are living in alignment with your true purpose, no failure can stop you permanently. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every loss becomes a foundation for something greater. You do not need the approval of others to keep going. You do not need the world to understand you before you begin. Tesla did not wait for permission. He did not wait for applause. He simply worked, believed, and trusted that the future would vindicate everything he had sacrificed in the present. And it did. The third question: what story is this person telling themselves? This is perhaps the most powerful question of all, and the one that Tesla's life most deeply illuminates. Every human being lives inside a story. Not a story written by anyone else, but a story they tell themselves, silently, every single day. And that internal story determines everything: their confidence, their choices, their relationships, their limits, and their possibilities. Tesla's internal story was extraordinary. Despite being dismissed, mocked, and robbed, the story Tesla told himself was this: I am a man of destiny. I am here to change the world. My work matters more than my comfort. The future will understand what the present cannot. That story gave him superhuman resilience. It made him capable of enduring what others could not even imagine facing. Now think about the people in your life. What story is the difficult colleague telling themselves? Perhaps, I have to fight for everything, because no one will ever give me what I deserve. What story is the self-doubting friend living inside? Perhaps, I am not smart enough, not talented enough, not worthy enough to succeed. What story is the overly controlling person narrating? Perhaps, if I don't manage everything, it will all fall apart and I will be to blame. When you can hear the story behind the behavior, everything makes sense. You stop taking things personally. You stop reacting with frustration. You start responding with understanding, patience, and real wisdom. This is the third question that reads anyone's mind. What story is this person living inside? Tesla on the power of the imagination. Nikola Tesla once said something that stopped the world in its tracks. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. Tesla understood, long before modern psychology, that the invisible world, the world of thought, imagination, and belief, was the most powerful force in the universe. Tesla did not build his inventions with his hands first. He built them entirely in his mind. He would visualize a machine with such perfect clarity that he could run it in his imagination, test it, find the flaws, correct them, all before a single piece of metal was ever touched. By the time he actually built something, it was already finished in his mind. This is a practice available to every single one of us. The great tragedy is that most people use their imagination to rehearse their fears, to replay past failures, to imagine future disasters, to invent reasons why they cannot succeed. Tesla used his imagination in exactly the opposite way: to design, to build, to perfect, to create. What would change in your life if you used your imagination the way Tesla did? What would become possible if you spent even 10 minutes each day clearly visualizing the person you are becoming, the life you are building, the goal you are moving toward? Tesla proves that imagination is not an escape from reality. Imagination, used correctly, is the very engine of reality. Lessons on solitude and inner strength. Tesla never married. He had almost no close friends. For much of his life, he lived in deep solitude, working through the night, eating alone, thinking in silence. Many people looked at his life and saw loneliness. Tesla himself saw something entirely different. He called his solitude a gift. He said that in silence, he could hear frequencies that the noisy world completely drowned out. He believed that the greatest insights available to a human being could only arrive in stillness, that the universe was constantly broadcasting truth, and that most people were simply too loud and too busy to receive the signal. Tesla said, "Solitude is very painful when one is young, but delightful when one is more mature." He was not encouraging isolation. He was encouraging something far more valuable: the ability to be comfortable with yourself. The ability to sit with your own thoughts without distraction, without entertainment, without the constant noise of other people's opinions. In today's world, this is almost a revolutionary act. We are surrounded by constant stimulation: phones, screens, notifications, noise. We have forgotten what it feels like to simply be alone with our own minds. And because of that forgetting, we have become dependent on external validation, external entertainment, and external direction. Tesla's life calls us back to something ancient and powerful: the wisdom that comes from within, when you are quiet enough to hear it. If this message is speaking to your soul, please subscribe to this channel. Every video here is crafted to help you think deeper, live wiser, and become the most powerful version of yourself. The secret of energy and human connection. Tesla's most famous concept, the idea that everything is energy, frequency, and vibration, was not just a scientific observation. It was a philosophy of human relationship. Tesla noticed that when he was in the presence of certain people, his mind became sharper, his ideas flowed more freely, and his spirit felt lifted. In the presence of others, he felt drained, confused, and diminished. He was, long before the modern world gave it a name, describing energy vampires and energy givers. He was describing the profound effect that other people's energy has on our own minds, bodies, and creative power. Tesla was fiercely protective of his energy. He chose his company carefully. He did not waste his precious mental and emotional resources on people who brought chaos, negativity, or manipulation into his world. He understood something that most people still struggle to accept: not every relationship deserves your best energy. This is a life lesson of enormous importance. The people you spend the most time with are not just companions, they are forces that either amplify or diminish your potential. Choose them with the same care and intention that Tesla chose the elements for his experiments. Because the wrong company will drain you of the very energy you need to build your greatest life. and the right company. The right people will make you more than you ever thought you could be. They will challenge you, inspire you, believe in you even when you cannot believe in yourself. Seek those people. Protect that energy. Guard it the way Tesla guarded his laboratory, with total dedication and fierce purpose. When the world does not understand you, one of the most painful experiences a human being can have is to know something is true, to feel it in every cell of your body, and to have the world look at you with blank incomprehension, dismissal, or mockery. Nikola Tesla knew this pain better than almost anyone who has ever lived. He proposed ideas that the greatest scientists of his time called impossible. He made promises that the most powerful businessmen of his era called delusional. He lived for years in a state of being profoundly, painfully misunderstood. And yet, he did not collapse under that weight. He did not abandon his truth to make others comfortable. Tesla's response to being misunderstood was simple and magnificent. He said, "Let the future tell the truth and evaluate each one according to his work and accomplishments. The present is theirs, the future, for which I really worked, is mine." This is a message for every person who has ever been told their dream was too big. For every person who has been laughed at for believing in something invisible. For every person who has stood alone in a crowd, knowing something that others could not yet see. You do not need to be understood right now. You do not need to be validated today. You need only to be true. True to your vision, true to your purpose, true to the deepest knowing inside you. The world caught up to Tesla. And if you stay faithful to your truth, the world will catch up to you. Reading the mind, bringing it all together. So now we return to the beginning. To read someone's mind, Tesla's wisdom teaches us, you do not need supernatural powers. You do not need tricks or manipulation. You need only 3 great questions, asked in deep sincerity. The first, what does this person fear? Look past the anger, the pride, the aggression, the withdrawal, and ask yourself what fear is hiding beneath it. Fear is the root of almost every difficult human behavior. When you see the fear, you see the person. The second, what does this person want most? Not what they say. Not what they perform, but the deep, burning desire that shapes everything they do. When you understand someone's deepest want, you understand their entire journey. The third, what story is this person telling themselves? Because every human being lives inside a narrative. And when you can hear that narrative, even though it is never spoken aloud, you will understand their choices, their patterns, and their possibilities with extraordinary clarity. Tesla used these principles not just to understand others, but to understand himself. He asked himself these questions constantly, refining his own story, his own desires, and his own fears into something clear and powerful. And from that clarity, he changed the world. You can do the same. Not by changing the world as dramatically as Tesla did, though perhaps you will. But by changing the way you see the people around you. By responding with wisdom instead of reaction. By choosing understanding over judgment. By becoming the kind of person whose very presence makes others feel seen, heard, and understood. That is the rarest and most beautiful gift a human being can offer another. Final words, the legacy of a dreamer. Nikola Tesla died on January 7, 1943, in room 3327 of the New Yorker Hotel. He was 86 years old. He died with very little money, but with a mind that had touched the future. He died alone, but his ideas were already alive in every electrical socket, every radio signal, every wireless transmission that crisscrossed the planet. The world did not fully appreciate him until long after he was gone. But Tesla had always known this would happen. He had made peace with it decades before his death. Because Tesla did not work for applause. He did not work for wealth. He worked for truth, for humanity, and for the beautiful, terrifying, magnificent future he could see so clearly in his mind. His final message to us is perhaps his greatest. What one man calls God, another calls the laws of physics. Tesla saw no separation between the scientific and the sacred. He believed the universe was alive with intelligence, and that every human being who approached life with curiosity, patience, and love was tuning into that intelligence. You are one of those people. The fact that you are here, seeking wisdom, asking deeper questions, reaching for a larger understanding of life, that is the spirit of Tesla alive in you. Carry it forward. Ask the deeper questions. Listen to the silence. Protect your energy. Trust your vision. And never, not for a single moment, stop believing in the extraordinary power of your own mind. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. That tells me something very important about you. You are someone who is serious about growing, learning, and becoming more. This channel exists for people exactly like you. If this video added something to your life, if it gave you one new thought, one new perspective, one moment of real inspiration, please do one simple thing right now. Subscribe to this channel. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you never miss a single video. We are building a community here of people who think deeply, live intentionally, and refuse to settle for a life smaller than their potential. Every video on this channel is crafted with the same care, depth, and love for wisdom that went into this one. Nikola Tesla, Marcus Aurelius, Albert Einstein. Ancient Stoic philosophy, modern psychology, life lessons that actually change the way you think and live. This is your community. Subscribe now, and let's grow together. See you in the next video.